episode of Roadmap to Success, we have with us Mr. Vishwas Mahajan, who is the co-founder and CEO of Visible. Vishwas Mahajan has also been a two-time president of the TiE chapter in Pune, and he has also served on the global board of TiE. And so he brings a huge experience on technology, entrepreneurship, and understanding about how the world is getting shaped with several emerging technologies. In today's episode, we will talk to Mr. Mahajan about the technology trends that we should be aware of, particularly when we look at being bombarded with a variety of technologies, blockchain, AI. We keep hearing about portable, wearable, IoT, and so on and so forth. So many technologies around us. If a young person is entering into the field of IT or digital technology today, how should this young person be thinking about these technologies, and which of these technologies should they be taking a bet upon? Or is there some sort of a magic mantra, Vishwas, you would have for the students to advise them as to how they need to build their careers around all of these exciting technology?
One of the things that makes entrepreneurship successful is the talent. You will find that wherever there are talent spots is where the entrepreneurship thrives. When an entrepreneur sets about a vision to create, and I'm here talking about technology entrepreneurs primarily, to do something that he or she thinks will change the world, one of the first things they need is to create the team. And this is where some of their earliest challenges begin to unfold. Number one, as no brand startup entrepreneurs, they are not able to attract the kind of talent that is a top tier talent because it has already been taken by large companies. Now that's where they have to start hiring the available talent and then work extra hard to make their vision come true. Now this is a double whammy for these startups, because on one hand they would benefit most from availability of great talent, and on the other hand that is not available to them at the time that they want, at the price that they want. Now in general you find that we are quite fixated, at least the engineering graduates that join us are very fixated, or their training is around a certain technology area, but we find that it is not deep enough. I would say that if we can complement their whatever curriculum that is there with more fundamental skills like problem solving, logical thinking, analytical ability. Now those are cross-platform horizontal skills which are not adequately trained as our students come out of these engineering colleges.
How should one make a choice for what is really best suited for an individual amongst these various choices available, particularly entrepreneurship versus joining a company?
Sure.
How would you look at this?
There are good and there are qualities that are good for certain things, not good for certain things. So it is very important for a student to really assess himself or herself as to where their best fit is. Because it's actually about where you fit. I mean, if you kind of evaluate a fish by the way it flies, it is always going to fail, right? So you have to actually find out what the person is best at, and I guess a counseling of some sort for a student as he or she is graduating, to see what best suits the mental makeup of that individual and what will make them more happy. See, at the end, happy people will generate more productivity, right? So I mean, I would, being an entrepreneur, I would say yes, but I would also qualify that with so many things. So first of all, I think somehow in our system, the success is measured by the package that you get in the first year of leaving your college or something of that sort. Even when I go and talk to the engineering or MBA schools, their directors or principals, when they present their organization, their institution, they say, so many people from our company have got jobs, they got placed, our placement record is X%, or the highest package is this and median package is this. Now this is actually about the whole system is conniving for people to join the typical type of careers, which means that if you want to start off as an entrepreneur out of college, you are already starting with a handicap, because the system says no, you have to get a job in this company and this is your median salary. That's how the college's success is measured. I think we need to change those metrics, and this has to be a long-term study. You can't have a college, somebody is just 5 years ago to create a lot of, but if you just look at, today IITs, we talk about the value that IITs have created because they have a long period. So if you change the metrics, it's like what you measure, if you change that, then the behavior will change. So I think that is one thing I would highly recommend. Now, coming back to whether a student should choose being an entrepreneur, and the reason I say yes is because here your risks are the lowest. Here you have a blank slate, you have no baggage, and you are free to explore the world on your own, and that's the best place to start.
For many young people, they might be the first time graduates in their families, first time college goers in their families, and they may have many other questions in their mind whether they are really suited for being entrepreneurs. So can you please lay out from your own experience, from your own successful track record, what are the top 3 or 4 things one should possess based on which one could decide whether I'm suited for launching myself into a career for entrepreneurship or not?
But if you look at me as an individual graduating out of college, there was no way anybody would have thought that I would, or anybody known to me would have said I would become an entrepreneur. So I am a child of primary school teacher. When my father passed away very early, I grew up with my granduncle, who was a freedom fighter. So making money, doing business is not something that's totally aligned to us. We've never learned this in life. The only goal is to join something and stay there. But this is what I've seen in many entrepreneurs. It's not very common. So because your family does not have a background in entrepreneurship doesn't mean anything, right? So, and I also worked. I worked for good 10 years before I started the company, and not because of anything else. I mean, I was here, then I was abroad, and then at one time we said, look, if we ever go back, we'll just start a company, because we are always, when you are working for somebody else, the classic employee mindset says that what is not good in this company. You always gossip about it, right? As bachelors, that's all, that's your favorite beer time conversation. But then we said, no, yeah, what if it is your company? What you will not do what this current employer is doing? I mean, that kind of thing, when we moved the conversation to that, then I said, okay, then I have to start a company to actually see if I can do that. And that's how when I came back, we started, and we, with my co-founder Uday, we started, and that's what CompuLink was born, and then a little bit of history you told.
The vast majority of others, as you rightly said, it's not as if they are not smart, but there is something missing in them. And what happens is, these students, they spend maybe a year or maybe spend 2 years doing something else, and then somehow they find something that is of interest to them and they build their careers suitably. So can you throw some light on what are the other opportunities available outside of the traditional or known areas, largely known areas, that you can start off as a programmer, you can start off as a tester, you can start off as a coder or as a junior analyst, and so on and so forth. What are the other emerging roles related to IT and digital technologies that young people should be aware of, academic institutions should be aware of, so that they can gear up for these opportunities as well?
Okay, so I think I have some thought on that. So I think that today somebody graduating out of an MBA school has slightly better knowledge about how the business works. I'm saying slightly better because it's not across the board, because there are good MBAs and there are not so good MBAs. But what I'm saying is that at the end, the technology career that you choose is serving whom? You are serving some business goals. You're not doing programming for the sake of programming, or you're not doing testing for the sake of testing. Now that is something that if we can inculcate and give a larger domain experience or domain knowledge to the people, if they, our product is mainly in project management and project service automation kind of a space, right? Now they need to know how these customers make money, what are the critical success factors, so that they can serve them better. So I would say domain knowledge would be a good thing to do. Second would be communication skills, because as you will find that a lot of technology is now getting done. There are tools to develop technology, right? Today we did something on introducing bots in our product. Now when you say bot, the skill of developing bot is actually because Googles and Alexas of the world have done the job. There are not as many programmers or developers required for that. So what is required is that the people who design the interaction. Now for designing the interaction, you have to have communication skills, you have to understand the domain. Those are skills that if colleges are able to do that, I think that will make the outgoing student a lot more rounded in terms of taking up the career, which is not necessarily starting to code, because number of coders are going to reduce over a period of time. Then what is important is how do you create that technology and apply it to the business. So the skills around business analysis, the skills around customer interaction, skills around customer support, around implementation. Now those skills become important. Now for this you require some of these basic skills. So I would say those are very valid skills in the digital era. It's not about technology, because a lot of technology is done.
Thank you very much, Vishwas. It was fascinating to listen to you, and thanks for sharing your views. I'm sure everybody out there would be able to assimilate some of these ideas and look at how they can go on to become building successful careers. Thank you, Vishwas.
Thank you.
Thank you.